Cemetery in Rockledge, Pennsylvania, Montgomery County, right outside of Philadelphia. In this cemetery, there are over 28,000 people buried in somewhat of a mass grave. In this large plot of land in Longview Cemetery, there are thousands of unmarked graves from Monument Cemetery. Monument Cemetery opened in 1837 and was demolished in 1956. In the 1920s, Monument Cemetery was poorly managed and was in a state of disrepair. Philadelphia's elected officials and Temple University thought that they could redevelop the area and expand Temple University, so they decided to move 28,000 bodies. Less than 10% of the family members of the deceased were notified of the move. All of the headstones and mausoleums were supposed to be destroyed, including a 67-foot memorial dedicated to George Washington and Lafayette. Sections of the Longview Cemetery are named after streets in North Philadelphia, where Monument Cemetery once stood. There are only 300 people from Monument Cemetery that have a marker at Longview Cemetery. All of the new markers are flat and are very hard to find when the grass is a little overgrown. This is a Medal of Honor winner who won the Medal of Honor in 1864, and his grave is in the Susquehanna lawn. So I'm on Temple's campus. This is Broad Street, and this is Paulette Walk, which used to be Burke Street. And if you look at this wall on Broad Street, I believe this wall is from the actual Monument Cemetery, built in the 1800s. And the gatehouse, which features a 67-foot monument to George Washington and Lafayette, was located here on Broad Street. The only thing remaining of the 67-foot monument are the two bronze plaques that are now underneath the flagpole at Longview Cemetery. And here we are, the campus of Temple University. Another person who was buried on the grounds of Monument Cemetery. So this is Russell H. Conwell. He was the founder of Temple University, and he was buried at Monument Cemetery, but you can see his actual grave and his family grave right here on the campus of Temple. There he is. So here we are, Delaware Ave in the Bridesburg section of Philadelphia. Behind me, that's the Betsy Ross Bridge. Over here is the Philadelphia Electric Company building and some of their equipment. If you go down this little pier and across this bridge, if you look along the edge of this pier, there's all those rocks, and those rocks are called riprap. And what they are is they protect, I think they're probably protecting this railroad bridge that I'm standing on. But if you go down this pier a little bit further, let me show you. So I'm standing on a pile of what is usually riprap, just a bunch of rocks just piled together, protecting this pier, because there's a railroad bridge over there. Across the Delaware River, at the foot of the Betsy Ross Bridge, you'll notice those large stones. And some of them are the headstones from Monument Cemetery. The real big pieces of stone are actually part of the George Washington Lafayette Monument. It's, it's still kind of warm out, so it's really overgrown, and it's very hard to get to the stones when it's overgrown. And I don't feel like walking on that pier to get you a close look to the headstones today. But fortunately, I did this about 2 years ago, and here is some video footage of the headstones on that pier. All of the headstones and monuments from Monument Cemetery were supposed to be destroyed. No one's really sure why these headstones weren't broken up completely, but they are here at the foot of the Betsy Ross Bridge. You can only see them at low tide. Maybe when they put the stones here, they thought they would always be covered by the river. But for at least an hour every day, these headstones are exposed. And you can see some of the names of the people who the city of Philadelphia tried to erase. So that's it. That's my little story about Monument Cemetery and the 28,000 people who were buried there. I guess the moral of the story is, you may think you know what happens to your body after you die, but you really have no control of that. So, I don't know. I think I'm just going to get cremated.